5 feet 5 inches tall, weighing in at 144.5 pounds. Fighting out of Buenos Aires, Argentina, Ailín Fiona Perez.
La concordiense.
Para la República Argentina, salude a la nueva campeona, Ailín Pérez.
Ailín Pérez, nicknamed Fiona, is a 5'5" fighter with a 12-2-0 record and a reputation as a pure fighter. Dakota wouldn't be able to defend one side. If she blocks one angle, Ailín will strike from the other and take control of the fight. Her victories, 33% came by TKO, 50% by decision, and 17% by submission, showing she can win both on the feet and on the ground. She uses a style where she positions her hip in front of her opponent to control them and dictate the fight.
She's tapping already.
It is a submission win by Ailín Pérez. That's what she's...
This makes her the biggest threat for our beloved Dakota Ditcheva in grappling exchanges and in fights that go the distance. The matchup is a classic clash of styles. Dakota's striking versus Fiona's control and tactical mastery. The key question is whether Dakota can stay on her feet or fall into Perez's grappling and decision-oriented game plan. This Argentine fighter is the exact puzzle that could give Dakota Ditcheva a nightmare. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why Ailín Pérez is not just a contender, she might be the threat.
Soy luchadora del UFC.
Feeling out process.
Little bit of a different approach, right? She's staying back, and then she...
Me dicen Princesa Fiona por la esposa de Shrek del Ogro.
Let's start from the beginning. Ailín Pérez was born on October 5th, 1994 in Zárate, Argentina. She didn't grow up dreaming of the UFC. She started with Kung Fu and sandals at just 11 years old. At 20, she moved to Buenos Aires, picked up Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and decided, I'm going to be a professional fighter.
Early feeling out process. Nice three-piece combo to get that going.
She turned pro in 2018, and let me tell you, she did not waste time. Her professional record right now, 12 wins and 2 losses. Those 2 losses both came in her first couple of years. Since then, she's been on a relentless 5-fight win streak inside the UFC, tying legends like Miesha Tate and Raquel Pennington for the 3rd longest win streak in UFC women's bantamweight history.
You know, a little bit there. Whoa, that connected. Here we go.
Good shots, but she goes right in for the takedown.
This is not a hype job. This is a woman who has earned her spot at number 7 in the UFC women's bantamweight rankings. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Ailín Pérez is not a striker. She is a pure grappler, and one of the most dominant grapplers in the women's division right now. Let's look at the numbers, because the numbers don't lie. She holds the record for most takedowns landed in a UFC women's bantamweight bout. 10 takedowns in a single fight against Ashley Evans-Smith. 10, that is historic.
She usually gets her on offense. And right now she's coaching her how to get out of mount.
Final minute of round number 1. Just physically dominating Evans-Smith.
She also has the 2nd fewest strikes absorbed per minute in UFC women's bantamweight history, just 1.83. What does that mean? It means she doesn't stand in front of you and trade. She shoots in, she takes you down, and she controls you. Her top position percentage? 3rd highest in the division's history at 40%.
Warning her point selection there.
I'm surprised there wasn't one. Justin's hurt bad.
She is.
She's hurt very bad.
When Ailín Pérez grabs you, it is over. Remember her finish of Daria Železňáková at UFC Fight Night in Paris? First round, arm triangle choke, done. And yes, she celebrated by twerking on her opponent, which caused massive controversy. But that's Fiona. She's unfiltered, unapologetic, and completely unbothered. This woman has 22 total takedowns in UFC women's bantamweight history, 3rd most ever. She doesn't just attempt takedowns, she lands them.
She's getting her head higher than Ashley Evans-Smith on the fence, and that's keeping her going up. Oh, nice transition to the knee.
Now let's talk about our beloved Dakota Ditcheva. Dakota is 15-0. undefeated, unstoppable. She won the 2024 PFL Women's Flyweight World Championship and $1 million prize by TKOing Taila Santos, becoming the youngest champion in PFL history and the first British female MMA world champion.
Coming in.
Oh,
We're ready.
so long and rangy.
Put away.
Oh,
Her style, pure, devastating striking. 12 of her 15 wins have come by knockout. She finishes fights. She ends people. She's currently the #1 ranked fighter in PFL Women's Flyweight.
Taila Santos, a one-time UFC title challenger in the black. Plus moves forward. Oh, kick to the face. Ditcheva showing off all the weapons. And she has Taila Santos hurt deep for sure. Santos is in big trouble. She's in big trouble. Dakota Ditcheva to the body again.
She's been named 2024 Female Fighter of the Year by multiple major outlets. MMA Junkie, Combat Press, Cage Side Press, and many more. Simply put, Dakota Ditcheva is the most exciting women's fighter on the planet right now. So here's the $1 million question everybody is asking. What happens if these two ever meet? Now, I know they're in different organizations right now. Ailín is in the UFC at bantamweight. Dakota is in the PFL at flyweight. But hear me out, because this is the stylistic matchup that fight fans need to talk about. Dakota Ditcheva is extraordinary on the feet. Her striking is world-class. She's a Muay Thai champion with fast hands, lethal body shots, and knockout power. But here is her known vulnerability: the ground. Out of 15 fights, the vast majority of Dakota's finishes have come standing. She hasn't been tested extensively by an elite, relentless grappler, someone who will shoot for takedowns again and again until they get it, and then smother you on the mat. That is exactly what Ailín Pérez does. Perez doesn't need one clean takedown. She shoots repeatedly. She is physically strong, technically sharp, and mentally tough. Once she gets top position, she grinds you. She controls you. And when the opportunity opens, arm triangle, rear naked choke, she finishes. If Ailín Pérez could get Dakota to the ground consistently, Dakota's striking becomes irrelevant. And that is why Perez is the nightmare scenario. So is Ailín Pérez the next Dakota Ditcheva? Honestly, no. And that's actually a compliment to Perez. She's not trying to be Dakota. She doesn't need to be. Ailín Pérez is her own thing entirely. A pressure grappler with championship-level cardio, elite takedown accuracy, and the kind of mental toughness that comes from being a single mother raising a child while competing at the highest level of the sport.
And her opponent fighting out of the red corner. She's a Muay Thai specialist and stands 5 feet 8 inches tall. She weighed in officially at 126 pounds and holds a professional record of 5 victories and no defeats. Fighting out of Manchester, England, Dakota Ditcheva.
very comfortable.
Switches back.
Jab. Oh, lovely combo. Space, and you've got to be able to find that within yourself. And at the moment, they're both searching for that. Let's face it. There's a dark place where a person has to go to say, look, it goes beyond sport, it goes beyond stamina, it goes into the depths of your soul. And at the moment, these girls have got to find it, and it's going to be in this round where we'll see who wants it most. It's a very close fight, an interesting fight, and I've got nothing but respect for both girls, but we'll see. We're going into round number 5, Gab. No, I'm only joking, Birmingham people. Here's some of the action then, Gab.
Yeah, you can see there, look, the distance there. Brady's right on her straight away. Doesn't give her a chance to work at all. Just throwing anything at her at the moment. Again, those kicks landing. There's no power in them at all because she's bouncing.
You know, but look at that beautiful balance. She's got all the technique, but I don't know whether it's a little bit of stamina is just a little bit of an issue. I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the ring, Hannah Brady.
Well, making her way to the ring then is the cap front tip femme fatale, Hannah Brady. Cap front tip, very strong, pure Muay Thai technique, trained by John Pop Cap front tip. Maria Chu, Maria cap front tip, should say. And Jar cap front tip as well. Simon Chu, it's a family affair. But Hannah Brady is very, very strong, comes forward, means business, we'll see.
Dakota Ditcheva versus Hannah Brady, Muay Thai, late 2018. This was the night Dakota Ditcheva faced disaster. Her opponent came in with a 10-2 record, not a prospect, not a stepping stone. And before the fight even began, she crossed a line no one ever had before.
And I'll knock her mother out too after I'm done with her. I will knock this dumb bitch out. And I'll knock her mother out too after I'm done with her. Dakota, I'm coming for you. Be ready, you dyke.
Starts to melt the Scottish fighter and lands two big right hands. Woohoo! Makes quick work of Clan Rankin, and look at the work to celebrate.
She disrespected Dakota's mother, saying, "After Dakota, I'm coming for her mother." She promised to break Dakota. She promised to make her cry in the ring. This was the first time Dakota Ditcheva faced a real fighter after her loss to Amy Perney. And the result? No winner. Yes, you heard that right. The fight ended in a split decision draw.
In the red corner, Dakota Ditcheva!
Here's the stats then. 13 fights, 12 wins and 1 loss for Ditcheva. 15 fights, 10 wins, 4 losses.
Late 2018 was a pivotal moment in Dakota Ditcheva's early career. Coming off a tough loss to Amy Perney, Dakota was facing questions about her abilities, her resilience, and her readiness to compete at the highest levels. That loss had shaken her confidence, and the fight against Hannah Brady was supposed to be her opportunity to prove herself, to regain momentum. Instead, she stepped into a storm. Brady was not only experienced and technically proficient, but she also brought a level of psychological warfare that Dakota had never encountered. The disrespect and threats aimed at her and her family added a personal edge that intensified the stakes. This fight was no longer just about Muay Thai. It had become a test of character, heart, and mental toughness.
Hannah Brady, fight out cap on tip. I think the fight record is 23 fights, 16 wins, like three or four knockouts. Like seeing on paper, I can't remember exactly. I don't give up, and I think I've put a bit of pressure, so I'm kind of a bit annoying. I think that's probably the big character. Yeah, I don't give up basically, and I'm not scared of anyone or to fight anybody.
Hannah Brady came into the fight as a seasoned professional with a 10-2 record. She was the kind of fighter who thrived in pressure situations, using clinches and forward aggression to wear down opponents. Her style was brutal yet effective, combining relentless physicality with a clear game plan to frustrate more technical opponents. For Dakota, this was a stark contrast to the fighter she had faced before, including Amy Perney. Brady was experienced enough to neutralize Dakota's sharp striking, to disrupt her rhythm, and to push her to her limits both mentally and physically. The combination of skill, aggression, and psychological manipulation made this fight the most dangerous challenge Dakota had faced in her young career.
Yeah. Straight away. She's not waiting. She's not taken a step backwards once during this entire fight.
I don't think Ditcheva's getting hurt at all.
From the opening bell, the difference between the two fighters was apparent. Brady charged forward immediately, closing distance and forcing clinches. She was uninterested in long-range exchanges or traditional scoring techniques. Instead, she used her strength to smother Dakota, pressing her against the ropes and leaning into her to sap energy and patience. Dakota, meanwhile, attempted to employ her typical strategy: precise kicks, counters, and movement. She landed cleaner shots when space was available, but Brady's relentless approach limited her effectiveness. For the first time since her loss to Amy Perney, Dakota was being tested in a situation where her usual dominance was neutralized. This was survival Muay Thai in its purest form.
And her opponent fighting out of the red corner. She's a Muay Thai specialist and stands 5 feet 8 inches tall. She weighed in officially at 126 pounds and holds a professional record of 5 victories and no defeats. Fighting fighting out of Manchester, England, Dakota Ditcheva.
Very comfortable.
Switches back.
Job. Oh, lovely combo.
That sounds sweet.
As the rounds progressed, the clash of styles became more pronounced. Dakota Ditcheva represented technical mastery, long-range striking, timing, and calculated counters. Hannah Brady represented relentless pressure, clinch-heavy control, physical strength, and constant disruption. Every time Dakota found an opening, she landed sharp and impactful strikes. But Brady refused to allow her room to breathe, tying her up and slowing the pace. It was an ugly fight by conventional standards, but it was effective. The beauty of Dakota's technique was constantly challenged by the pragmatism of Brady's forward pressure. This style clash made the fight intense, unpredictable, and mentally exhausting for Dakota.
As Ditcheva's got more fatigue going, she's scored better.
Yes, yeah.
You know, because she can't move as much, so she stays in distance and has to throw technique. Which she has got an abundance of.
She stopped thinking as much as well. Yeah. She's kind of just got a remote control a little bit last couple of rounds. Yeah. And she's looked better. Even though fatigued, she's looked better.
Yeah, Brady, who my first time on watching Brady, but I have heard about her. She's a clinch monster. A bit like Latin Swan. Who's coming forward and just trying for knee for knee.
Adding to the difficulty was the emotional factor. Brady's words and threats had rattled Dakota, introducing an element of personal conflict that no opponent before had managed to exploit. For the first time in her career, Dakota showed visible emotion in the ring. She wasn't panicking, but the pressure and disrespect were clear. The combination of physical challenge, the lingering psychological effect of her previous loss, and the emotional attacks from Brady made this fight one of the toughest moments in her career. Fans watching could see that Dakota was human, vulnerable yet resilient. By rounds 4 and 5, exhaustion became a major factor for both fighters. Brady maintained her forward pressure, continuing to force clinches and smother Dakota, hoping to control the pace and win by disruption. Dakota, despite being visibly drained, continued to land cleaner and more powerful strikes whenever space allowed. The difference in approach was evident. Dakota fought to assert control and win, while Brady fought to survive, frustrate, and disrupt. The battle became a contest of endurance as much as skill, with both fighters giving everything they had. When the final bell rang, neither fighter was sure of the outcome. Both raised their hands in uncertainty, reflecting the chaotic and contested nature of the bout. The judges rendered a split decision draw, leaving the result officially undecided. For Dakota, this was an emotionally complex moment. On paper, a draw is not a loss, but in context, coming off her defeat by Amy Perney and having been emotionally and physically challenged throughout the fight, it felt heavier than a mere tie. The fight exposed weaknesses and taught lessons that would prove invaluable for her future career.
Mona Kimura, that's where it's at. The real-life Chun-Li. I covered her 2 weeks ago. As a quick recap, she only uses her legs. Almost. She uses her kick as a jab, but she's a trained boxer too. Trained boxing her whole life. Trained karate her whole life. She's great. And she completely annihilated her first 2 opponents.
Exploding across social media, with millions of views in only a few days, a 23-year-old kickboxing sensation from Japan has everyone talking. Fans worldwide are now debating one big thing. Could Mona Kimura be on the verge of overtaking Dakota Ditcheva as the biggest name in women's combat sports?
This is the most disrespectful domination I've ever seen in kickboxing. These fighters train years to master complex combinations. But Mona Kimura said, "Nah, I'm good," and picked one move from Taekwondo. This cut kick became her square button, and she was not letting go. Look at her opponent's face. She's already shook. Step in, eat a kick. Throw hands, eat a kick. Breathe wrong, believe it or not, eat a kick. Then she got really disrespectful, dropped her and pointed. Back to back to back to back. She's not even trying to hide it anymore. At this point, just take the L and go home. Mona really said, why learn 100 moves when one move does the trick? Real-life Chun-Li just broke the game.
Keep it up.